Hello guys, welcome back to another video of mine. This is your match preview for FC Krasnodar against Chelsea in the Champions League, our second group game tonight at an earlier time of 5 to 6, obviously due to the time difference between the UK and Russia. Now, this is a must-win game. If we don't win this game, we're in big trouble. We're in big trouble. This is one of our easiest games of the group. Krasnodar are massive underdogs. They are one of the weakest sides in the competition. With all due respect, it's the first time they've ever. I think it's the first time they've ever been in the competition, and they're struggling in their own domestic league. I think they're 8th in the Russian league, so they're having a similar start to us. So I don't want to crap on them too much because they have had a similar start to us in terms of their domestic league, but we should be winning this game, really should be winning this game, and we need to arrest this alarming run of form of just drawing games. We've drawn our last 2 games 0-0, and then before that we drew 3-3 against Southampton, so we really need to start picking up wins, and this is a good game for us to do so. Now, the team that's going to play now, I think there's a couple of players that won't be featuring tonight. Kickoff's only about 6 hours away, so the team that was announced last night, as in injuries and stuff like that, will be the case for this evening. Thiago Silva isn't playing. Thiago Silva has been rested. He is 36 at the end of the day, and he played the last 2 games, in quick succession against Sevilla, Manchester United, and played very well in both of them. And I think we will need him more against Burnley on Saturday than we will tonight, so I have no problem with him resting or being rested tonight. And Antonio Rudiger is back in the squad, and I think he will actually start the game. Him and Frank Lampard, Rudiger hasn't played a minute this season, and there was talks of him leaving in the summer, so he will be involved tonight. He had heart-to-heart discussions with Frank Lampard, and it looks like he will be back in the squad, not only for tonight but for the rest of the season to come. So I do think that he will play. Other than that, we have a fully fit squad. No one hasn't travelled or been rested like Thiago Silva, and no one else is injured really. Kepa is still out with a shoulder injury, and Billy Gilmour is obviously still a long-term absentee, but he should be back in the next 2-3 weeks, so that's good to see. As I said, other than that, everyone else is fully fit now. I'm going to pick the team that I would like to see play. It's not going to be our strongest team because we should be winning this game even without our full strength 11, so I'm going to pick the team that I would like to see playing goal. In goal, I'm going to go with Edouard Mendy. He's our first choice keeper, and he's in good form, so we want to keep that going, keep his confidence up, keep that momentum going. And I don't see any reason to change it. It is still a Champions League game at the end of the day, so Edouard Mendy in goal for me. Right back, I would go with. We're reverting back to a back 4. I don't want 5 at the back away against Krasnodar, so we're going to go to a back 4. I would go with Reece James at right back. We want to try, and what I hope will be the case, that we want to try and kill this game off as early as possible. And Reece James is an attacking full-back, and we need those runs down the line. But not only that, also be able to track back when he needs to. So I'll go with Reece James at right back. Centre backs, I would go with Kurt Zouma and Antonio Rudiger. As I mentioned, Thiago Silva won't be playing, and Rudiger's back in the squad, so I would like to think Rudiger would play, and I would like to see him play. It's an opportunity to prove to Lampard that he deserves to be in the squad. And I would go Zouma alongside him. I think we need to try and no matter who we're playing, keep our kind of set back 4. And Zouma will be for me, Zouma and Thiago Silva are our 2 is our centre back partnership that I would like to see, and I feel is our strongest. But obviously, as Thiago Silva's rested, so Zouma and Rudiger will be that centre back pairing whenever Thiago Silva isn't playing. So I'd like to see that. And left back, I would go with Ben Chilwell. Marcos Alonso is suspended still after his red card against Bayern Munich in the first leg of our knockout stage last season. I think this is his last game of suspension, but I wouldn't want to see him play anyway. So I go with Ben Chilwell at left back, first choice left back, no problems there. Moving into the 3, I go with a 4-3-3 formation. I want to see an attacking lineup. I don't want to see any, I don't want to see a negative lineup where we have too many midfielders or too many defenders, as I mentioned, with the 5 at the back. So I go to 4-3-3. I would go with Kante, as the kind of holding midfielder. Um, Kante's Kante. You're not really going to drop him. He's a machine. He's not going to be low on energy or anything. And then further forward, go with Kai Havertz. I think for the likes of him and Timo Werner, I think they need to probably start as many games as possible. We want to see them get as many goals, assists. We want their confidence to go up, and want to see them, progressing and being more comfortable in the team. And by doing that, they need to play and score goals, and make assists, create chances, just play well in general. So I would like to see them play, and this is an opportunity for them tonight to really express themselves. So I would go with Kai Havertz, and I would go alongside him. I would go with Mason Mount. Mason Mount has divided a lot of opinion among Chelsea fans. Some people like him, some people dislike him. I don't dislike the guy. He's a Chelsea player. I'll support every single Chelsea player, and on his day he can be good, and this is an opportunity for him to prove himself and hopefully prove me right in that statement that he can be a very, very good player. So I go with Mason Mount there. On the left, I would go with do you know what? I'd actually like to see Callum Hudson-Odoi play. I think Christian Pulisic, he can be given a rest. I think I would rather see him play against Burnley, and Hudson-Odoi hasn't really played that much this season, so I think it's a good opportunity to give him a chance to prove himself and to hopefully put in a good performance and give Frank Lampard something to think about. So I go Hudson-Odoi on the left. On the right, I go Hakim Ziyech. Ziyech has come off the bench in our last 3 games, I think it is. He has to be fit to start. He has to be, and this is the perfect chance for him to start a game and hopefully prove himself. So I would go with Ziyech on the right, and up front, I would be, obliged to go with, the likes of maybe Giroud or Tammy Abraham, because, similar to Hudson-Odoi, they haven't got much game time, and it's an opportunity for them to, stake their claim to be, in the starting 11 for the games to come. But I would go with Timo Werner because, as I said, similar with Kai Havertz, you want them to play as much as possible to get up to speed with the I know they've played Champions League before, so it shouldn't be too much for them, but to gel with their teammates and to get used to playing under Frank Lampard's system. So I would go with Werner up front, and hopefully he can score a couple of goals tonight, and his confidence will only grow. So yeah, that's kind of it for this video, guys. As I mentioned, I don't really know too much about Krasnodar, and actually when I did the Champions League group stage draw, and I've mentioned in the Man United review last time, I kept calling them Kuban Krasnodar. That's a big mistake because they're 2 different teams. Kuban Krasnodar and FC Krasnodar are 2 different teams. It's like Sheffield United and Sheffield Wednesday. They're 2 different teams. So I do apologise if there's any Russian fans of either team watching. I do apologise. That's probably a big, thing over there. But no, they're 2 different sides. So it's FC Krasnodar we're playing tonight and not Kuban Krasnodar. And yes, so as I was saying, I don't know too much about them, but they're in the Champions League for a reason. They're not to be taken lightly. We need to approach this game with the mindset that we have to perform well to win, and we can't just go there and just expect to just rock up and win, because anytime a team does that, it never works. You only have to look at last week, for example. Real Madrid were playing Shakhtar Donetsk, and Shakhtar Donetsk had so many of their first team players out through injury or through COVID. They had a lot of their reserves playing, and they beat Real Madrid. So that's a perfect example. So we need to take this game seriously and get the job done and get our first win in the Champions League this season, and hopefully start going on a run of wins and progressing as a team. So anyway, guys, that's all for this video. If you did enjoy it, please drop it a like and subscribe if you're new around here or enjoy the content, and I'll have the review for the game out tomorrow. So I'll see you then, guys, and take care.